So let's talk about a sound mind. Now, your mind is your thinking faculty. Okay? Your mind is your thinking faculty, the part of your soul that processes information. Your mind is your thinking faculty, the part of your soul that processes information. It includes your memory, your imagination, and your intellect. Okay? It includes your memory, your imagination, and your intellect. Now, your memory replays the past, your imagination replays the future, and your intellect is the faculty of reasoning and understanding. Okay, let me say that again. Your memory, okay, replays the past, your imagination replays the future, and your intellect is the faculty of reasoning and understanding. So when I say a sound mind, I simply mean, okay, a healthy mind. A sound mind is a healthy mind. Okay, a sound mind is a healthy mind. It remembers the past correctly. It is boundless in its ability to process possibilities, and it is capable of objective reasoning and understanding. That's a healthy mind. Okay, you need a sound mind to learn. You need a sound mind to engage with others in meaningful relationships, and you need a sound mind to produce remarkable results. Okay, the rewards, okay, of these remarkable results that you produce is what we call success. It takes a sound mind to produce remarkable results. And one distinctive quality of a sound mind is a positive attitude. One distinctive quality of a sound mind is a positive attitude. Okay, every successful person I know is an incurable optimist. Every successful person I know is an incurable optimist. They always see the positive in every matter, and they respond to life's challenges positively. Every successful person I know is an incurable optimist. And that's why my focus today is on the making of a great attitude. That's our starting point. The making of a great attitude. To be that kind of person who always responds to life positively, who always sees the positive in every situation. That's one thing I found out about successful people. No matter what it is, they see the positive side. Okay, you see, to every opportunity, there are challenges. To every challenge, there is an opportunity. So, when successful people see any scenario, they see the positive. Whether it's an opportunity, whether it's a challenge, they see the positive, they see what they can make of it, okay? How they can forge ahead in spite of the situation, how they can exploit what they are dealing with to their own advantage. So no matter what it is that you are dealing with, if you can develop a positive attitude, it will take you a long way. Okay, the same challenges that take some other people out, you will withstand them because you have developed a positive attitude. I want to share with you a verse of scripture. Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 22. The Passion Translation says, "A cheerful, joyful heart brings healing to both body and soul." This is important. A joyful, cheerful heart brings healing to both body and soul. But the one whose heart is crushed struggles with sickness and depression. This is interesting. Proverbs 17 verse 22 from the Passion Translation of the Bible. It says, "A joyful, cheerful heart brings healing to both body and soul. But the one whose heart is crushed struggles with sickness and depression." Is it not interesting that the circumstance in a person's soul affects their body? So if you have a positive attitude, you are likely to be healthy. If you have a positive attitude, you are likely to escape negative emotions that, destroy people. Things like sickness, things like depression is far from people who have a joyful heart. And so somebody is wondering, so how do I become this joyful person? How do I develop a positive attitude? You would have discovered, we have said it severally, that what has happened to you or what you are going through is not as important as what is going on inside you or how you are going through what it is that you are going through. So how do you develop a positive attitude? What I want to do in this set of teachings that I'm doing is to be very, very practical. So I'm not going to give you so much of information as much as I want to give you practical ideas and steps you can take to develop, okay, your attitude, to be positive on the inside. So today I'm going to share one major one with you. Of course, it has 5 implications. I'm going to share one major idea that has 5 implications with you today. Next Wednesday, I will share another one. And then in the remaining sessions in the month of May, I'm going to be talking about how successful people think, specific skills employed by successful people in processing information. So the number one principle I want to share with us today is to develop a positive attitude, you have to create a positive environment around you. And what I'm going to do today is to share with you practical ways you can do that. Okay? To have a positive attitude, create a positive environment around you. This is what I have discovered, that what you see, what you hear, and how you feel affects you. What you see, what you hear, and how you feel affects you. So what you need to do is to condition your environment. If you want to be positive on the inside, you have to create a positive environment around you. So how do you do this? Now, what I'm going to share with you are practical steps, things that I do in my own life. This is the first one. Make your environment as clean and as comfortable as possible. Make your environment as clean and as comfortable as possible. Of course, you need to realize we are not on the same level financially. So the degree to which you can afford it, make your physical environment as clean and as comfortable as possible. Have you discovered that when we go on holidays, we stay in hotels, we are refreshed, we are relaxed? You know the reason why? Because the environment is clean. Somebody comes intermittently to lay the bed, to clean the room in the minimum on a daily basis. They clean the whole environment. You will notice the lighting is specific. It's intentional. When you want to read, the light is bright. When you want to sleep, you can dim the light. It's not just one option of lighting that you have in the room. You are surrounded with, gadgets, the things that you want. There's hair conditioning, okay? Somebody can bring your food to you, okay? For very good hotels, the environment is beautiful. There are flowers everywhere, beautiful paintings everywhere. What many of us need to do is go to our homes and reproduce such environments. You see, everywhere you go and you feel inspired and you feel relaxed physically, what you need to do is take that environment and go and reproduce it where you live every day. So at a point, I told my wife, I said, you know what? We are always going to have somebody who will clean the house for us so that as much as possible, our home is as clean as the hotels we want to visit. And, we started doing that, from the first year of our marriage to the degree to which, we could afford it. It got to a point where it became almost impossible for us to stay in certain hotels because our home was more comfortable than those places. And like I've said, to the degree of your ability, okay, in stages, based on your finances, the colors you paint your home, your immediate environment, they go a long way. So for me, I get very inspired in white environments. Okay, so in my home office where I'm broadcasting from, the walls are white, okay, the lights are bright. As a matter of fact, I still have one light option that I'm not even using right now. When I want to work, I want the lights around me to be bright. Research has proven that the brighter the light, okay, the brighter your mood. So in the office environment, the same thing. Let your office environment be clean. Let it be inspiring for everybody around you. Excellent furniture, excellent decoration is not luxury. It's an investment in your attitude. So many years ago, I was part of a training, even for us, as for pastors, where we were taught how that the environment in the auditorium where people worship determine how they assimilate what they are receiving, even in church. So the lighting of the auditorium is important. The facilitator told us how that live plants, okay, can be very inspiring. And that's why you will notice places you go to that you feel relaxed and inspired. These are the things they have there. Okay, bright colors, bright light, live plants, not synthetic plants, live plants, okay, paintings on the walls. These things are inspiring, okay, pictures of nature around you. These things are inspiring. You want to have a positive attitude. The first thing you need to do is to create a positive environment around you. And I'm giving you 5 implications of this principle, creating a positive environment around you. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do, okay, to create a positive environment around you is to take a regular dose of inspirational materials. A regular dose of inspirational materials. In this part of the world, some people don't pay attention to how they inspire themselves. There is the place for instruction, for teaching, for the impartation of knowledge, but there is a place for encouragement. For those of us who are people of faith, when you read the book of Romans chapter 12, it talks about people whose ministry is exhortation. Okay, we all need encouragement. There are times when what to do is not the problem. Motivation is the problem. So the question I will ask you is, how do you inspire yourself? Who inspires you, and how do you consume that material? If you have a mentor in your life, you have a role model in your life, you have to make a habit of consuming their material or exposing yourself to their environment so that you can be inspired. I have a number of people that I, follow after, because when I see what they're doing, when I receive from them, I am inspired. So I subscribe to their podcast, I watch their teachings, I read their books. There are certain authors, regardless of the content of their book, I always buy their books because they inspire me. So the question is, how do you inspire yourself? I didn't say how do you get instruction. I didn't say how do you gain knowledge. There is a place for all of that, but there is a place for inspiration. There is a place for inspiration. For me, music inspires me. Creative things inspire me. So when I want to entertain myself, I entertain myself with creative materials. It can be very inspiring. There are podcasts I listen to. There are, speakers I listen to that inspire me. People who want to remind you what you are capable of. People who want to remind you what your true potential is. People who want to remind you that problems are not problems, but the way we deal with them is what matters. You need inspiration. These are things. See, when you fill yourself with a consistent dose of inspiration, you will be positive in your attitude. So, you will face certain problems, and for you are not seeing them before because you have learned about them. You have heard stories upon stories of people who have dealt with those kind of challenges, and they surmounted it. When it comes to you, you say to yourself, I can surmount this also, because you are full and overflowing with stories, okay, of such people. There was a time in my life that I invested in books that were just positive stories. Stories of people who faced adversity and who succumbed, who overcame those adversities, okay. I invested in such books, okay, books of testimonies of people with devastating experiences who were able to come out on top. You need to saturate your heart with those kind of stories of successful people. These are things that inspire you, okay? People who have gone in your field. The Bible says that there is nothing new under the sun. So there's nothing you are trying to achieve that somebody else has not achieved before. You need to know their stories. You need to know how they overcame the challenges that they deal with. That's what I mean by regular inspiration or consistent inspiration. Consistent dose of inspiration. I'm talking about audios. I'm talking about videos, okay? You need to invest in them. You need to be systematic, intentional in the way you consume them. For me, I use my drive time to inspire myself. When I'm in my car driving, I'm either listening to an audiobook or listening to a podcast. These are things that inspire me. What are we talking about? We're talking about creating a positive environment around you, because this is one of the major ways you develop a positive attitude, okay? It is to create a positive environment around you. I've told you to make your environment, okay, as clean and as comfortable as possible, okay? I'm talking about your home and your workspace, inside your car, okay? If you can determine the car you drive, these are things that affect you, okay? The places where you spend time, okay, on a daily basis, invest in excellence in those places, and they will fill you with a positive attitude. You will be inspired in those spaces, okay? I told you to take a regular dose of inspirational materials. This is the third thing I'm going to ask you to do. Nourish your body, okay? Nourish your body. Why? Because weak bodies weary the soul. weak bodies weary the soul. So, nourish your body. What do I mean? Eat well and exercise regularly. You want to develop a positive attitude? Eat well and exercise regularly. It's amazing. I saw something online today that I just want to share with you. Okay, look at this write-up. It says, exercise can be a great way to lift your mood and improve your ability to deal with stress. When you exercise, your body often feels more relaxed and calmer. The author says, when you engage in high-intensity exercise, your body and brain produce hormones and neurotransmitters that have a positive impact on your mood, memory, energy levels, and a sense of well-being. Studies show that even a single bout of exercise results in positive changes in brain chemicals and can improve your mood. A 2017 review of the effects of exercise published in the Journal of Brain Plasticity found that after exercise, people reported a better mood with decrease in tension, depression, and anger. In fact, people with mild or moderate depression, for people with mild or moderate depression, 30 minutes of daily exercise may be effective for improving your mood. Think about that. Okay, if you want to read more about this information I just shared with you, this research I just shared with you, you can read it in verywellmind.com. Verywellmind.com. Just exercising can make you feel better, can nourish your mood. So you are not just exercising so that you can be healthy, you are exercising for the benefit of your mental health. It's very, very important. It's not just physically that we benefit from exercise, even emotionally and mentally, we benefit from exercise. Now, you don't have to do something that is out of this world or rigorous. Just make sure that you move your body, okay? On a daily basis, as much as possible, move your body. Most of us sit in cars, sit behind desks, okay, almost all day. What do you need to do? Find time to walk around. Okay, I use devices to let me know when I've sat down for too long. The moment I've sat on the spot for about 1 hour, 30 minutes, okay, I get a notification. I just need to stand up and move around, apart from the regular exercises that I get to do from time to time. It's not only for my physical health, it is also for my mental health. So people who invest in physical activities tend to feel better than those who allow themselves to just sit down and be, behind their desk, behind their cars all the time. If you are too sedentary, it would affect your mood. So move around, exercise your body. The next thing I'm going to tell you to do is do what? Look your best all the time. You see, when you are dressed and you are looking good, whether you are indoors or outdoors, it affects how you feel about yourself. I like the way somebody said it. Looking good is good business. Looking good is good business. The things I'm sharing with us are simple and practical ideas, but if you will practice them, you will see a difference in your life, okay? Look good as much as you can all the time. Look your best all the time. You're going to work, you're visiting friends, even when you are at home. Invest in the things you will wear at home so that you feel good about yourself, okay? It's very, very good. When you dress well, you feel good. So as much as you can afford, dress well. Like I said, we are in different phases of our lives, but as much as you can afford, okay, look well all the time. And then the last one is very important. Invest time in your relationship with positive people. Or let me say that in another way. Spend more time with positive people than you spend with negative people. For many of us, there's probably nothing you can do about it. You have 1 or 2 persons in your life that are not positive people. Now, you want to make sure that you intentionally spend time with positive people. More time with positive people than you do with negative people. I tell people this all the time. Sometimes in the beginning, you may not readily find these positive people you are looking for. Okay? You may find them in books, you find them in videos. All right, invest more time with them. If the people around you are, toxic, then invest more time in the books. Okay, invest more time in the podcast and in the videos. After some time, as you begin to change as an individual, you will begin to attract physically the kind of people that are as positive as you are. What am I talking about today? We're talking about a sound mind. A sound mind is a healthy mind. And then I said to you that one of the distinguishing qualities of a sound mind is a positive attitude. Okay? I'm sharing two powerful principles on how to develop a positive attitude. The first one is the one we have looked at today, is to what? Is to create a positive environment around you. And that has 5 implications. I said, number 1, make your environment as clean and as comfortable as possible. I'm talking about your home. I'm talking about your workspace. I'm talking about inside your car. Make it as clean and as comfortable as possible. Invest, okay, in scented candles, in hair fresheners. These things are very important. In your work environment, let the colors be bright. Let the walls be bright colored. Let the lights, okay, be bright enough. Now, have paintings around you or pictures of nature around you. These are things that inspire and affect your mood. I told you, number 2, take regular dose of inspirational materials. You need to make up your mind. How do I inspire myself? And you have to do it intentionally on a daily basis. Number 3, I told you to nourish your body. Okay? Weak bodies weary the soul. Weak bodies weary the soul. And by that I mean eat well and exercise regularly. And number 4, I said look your best all the time, because how you dress determines how you feel. So look your best all the time. And finally, invest more time with positive people than you do with negative people. Why? Because you are a product of the company you keep. Okay? You are a product of the company you keep. I'm going to round up this evening with a story I read in a book so many years ago. The interesting thing is, I saw this story, I filed it away. Now I can't even remember the book I saw this story in, okay? But I'm going to read it out to you. It will inspire you, all right? The story is titled Jerry and His Great Attitude. Jerry and His Great Attitude. So listen to this. Jerry was the kind of guy you love to hate. He was always in a good mood and always had something positive to say. When someone would ask him how he was doing, he would reply, "If I were any better, I would be twins." He was a unique manager because he had several waiters who had followed him around from restaurant to restaurant. The reason the waiters followed Jerry was because of his attitude. He was a natural motivator. If an employee was having a bad day, Jerry was there telling the employee how to look on the positive side of the situation. Seeing this style really made me curious. So one day, I went up to Jerry and asked him, "I don't get it. You can't be a positive person all the time. How do you do it?" Jerry replied, "Each morning I wake up and say to myself, Jerry, you have 2 choices today. You can choose to be in a good mood or you can choose to be in a bad mood. I choose to be in a good mood. Each time something bad happens, I can choose to be a victim or I can choose to learn from it. I choose to learn from it. Every time someone comes to me complaining, I can choose to accept their complaining or I can point out the positive side of life. I choose the positive side of life." "Yeah, right. It's not that easy," I protested. "Yes, it is," Jerry said. "Life is all about choices. When you cut away all the junk, every situation is a choice. You choose how you react to situations. You choose how people will affect your mood. You choose to be in a good mood or a bad mood. The bottom line, it's your choice how you live life." Soon thereafter, I left the restaurant industry to start my own business. We lost touch, but often thought about him when I made a choice about life, instead of reacting to it. Several years later, I heard that Jerry did something you are never supposed to do in a restaurant business. He left the back door open one morning and was held at gunpoint by 3 armed robbers. While trying to open the safe, his hand, shaking from nervousness, slipped off the combination. The robbers panicked and shot him. Luckily, Jerry was found relatively quickly and rushed to the local trauma center. After 18 hours of surgery and weeks of intensive care, Jerry was released from the hospital with fragments of the bullet still in his body. I saw Jerry about 6 months after the accident. When I asked him how he was, he replied, "If I were any better, I would be twins. Want to see my scars?" I declined to see his wounds, but did ask him what had gone through his mind as the robbery took place. "The first thing that went through my mind was that I should have locked the back door," Jerry replied. "Then as I lay on the floor, I remembered that I had 2 choices. I could choose to live or I could choose to die. I chose to live." "Weren't you scared?" Didn't you lose consciousness? I asked. Jerry continued. The paramedics were great. They kept telling me I was going to be fine. But when they wheeled me into the emergency room and I saw the expression on the faces of the doctors and nurses, I got really scared. In their eyes, I read, "He's a dead man." I knew I needed to take action. What did you do? I asked. Well, there was a big burly nurse shouting questions at me, said Jerry. She asked if I was allergic to anything. Yes, I replied. The doctors and nurses stopped working as they waited for my reply. I took a deep breath and yelled, "Bullets!" Over their laughter, I told them, "I am choosing to live. Operate me as if I am alive, not dead." Jerry lived thanks to the skill of his doctors, but also because of his amazing attitude. I learned from him that very day that we have a choice to live fully. Attitude, after all, is everything. I bet if you were the one reading the book I was reading when I saw this story, you would probably file it away too. Because listen, we have a choice. You can choose either to be positive in your attitude or to be negative in your attitude. You can choose to accept your day as a bad day or to make it a good day. Life, when we sum it up together, is just what? A number of choices. And so I'm going to encourage you today to do what? To choose to be positive. Choose to live. Okay, your life is what you make of it. Okay, choose to be excited. Choose to be your best. Choose to be happy at every point in time. Okay, I've shared one major principle with you today. For you to develop a positive attitude, create a positive environment around you. Your immediate physical environment, let it be as beautiful as possible. Nourish your soul with a consistent dose of inspiration. It's important. Eat well and exercise well. Look your best all the time, because the way you look will determine how you feel. And then invest more time with positive people than you do with negative people. Thank you very much for being a part of today's broadcast. Now, if you have a question, I would probably want to take